this time on Tornado Titans.
Still cranking. RFD will have to try to kick around again. When it does, this thing could be very close. Could produce a tornado. I don't know, but
I think we got us a tornado.
Just a few days ago, I said this. At least when it comes to May, not today, but when it comes to May, I think we're done. Well, what I really meant was in just a few days, we're gonna be right back where we were right about then, East Central New Mexico, looking at a sky that is just primed for severe weather, supercells, tornadoes. It's all possible today, May 31st. We're not done with May. We've got one more day left with May. That's what I meant to say. Expecting storms to form out here to my east and or west and south, and we'll see what happens when they do. I think tornadoes are a pretty decent bet today. The hope is that we can be on a storm with favorable road options when it happens. That's going to be the challenge. I'm excited. Let's go storm chasing.
Today's storms are forming off of the higher terrain in central New Mexico. Moisture is plentiful, which is leading to moderate instability. Wind shear is also moderate. Today was a day storm chasers weren't expecting much from a few days prior, but in May, the atmosphere just finds a way.
So the situation right now is, we got several storms forming here in a line, and a couple of these are going to become supercells, but which ones? I don't know. That's the question. Yeah, it's still there. Right there.
Out of the morass of storms early, a dominant supercell has taken shape east of Corona. But this couldn't be in a worse spot. There are no roads to get within even a few miles of this cell.
All right, that right there is a supercell. Look at that thing, big wall cloud. You can see a big spiral updraft. This thing is looking pretty wild right now. We're southeast of Corona, New Mexico. We're on the highway that I swore if I ever chased on, we'd be desperate. We're desperate. Right there is the wall cloud though. Had some decent motion in it a bit ago. It's still cranking. RFD will have to try to kick around again. When it does, this thing could be very close. Could produce a tornado. I don't know, but I mean, that's a supercell. So there you go.
Being right in the middle of all that, actually. It does, though. Looks like we got an RFD cut.
The rear flank downdraft is beginning to move around the low-level mesocyclone. A tornado may be imminent.
Now, that's looking, could be. Yeah, you can see the cut. Actually, that was a little bit of an right there on the right. Goodness gracious.
This storm is now producing a weak tornado over open land near Lawn, New Mexico.
Just classic textbook evolution right now. Watching the storm wrap up really fast. This storm is currently severe warned, but it has been showing signs of being wanting to. Let's just zoom in on you. It's wanting to maybe produce a tornado. It's right there. It's right in the frame. Once I switch over, thank you. Need to remember to do that. So they're running the camera, doing a great job, except not showing it. Right in there, though. Watch that closely. It's not gonna do it, is it? Wow. I'm watching you still.
Unbeknownst to the team, this storm has had a weak ground circulation ongoing through this entire process. It's a weak EFU tornado, but it counts.
Oh my God! don't know. I'm still not ruling out that it's going to do it on this cycle. This is a monster cycle. Massive RFD cut. We do have another mezzo, though, which is very favorable for us. We're forming a lot closer. See it right there. So.
This storm is beginning to acquire a colder look to it. It is likely being impacted by cooler outflow from storms to its east.
Mainly because what's going to happen if we don't is we're just going to get cut off and the storm chase will be over. So we got to get east and south. All right, let's stop it right there. Ish. Okay, coming back out of the rain. Let's see what it does. That would be it. Kind of in the middle of all that rain right now. Let this time lapse go for about 3 minutes. I'm gonna switch out batteries here. Once I get to the top of this hill here, we're pulling out the camera and things are about to happen. Things like we wouldn't believe. Oh my god. That's incredible. Just stupid how good that looks. Let's level you first. There we go. Horizon leveled.
In this brief moment, this storm looks impressive, with inflow from all levels and a striking horseshoe cut into the base. However, there's no real areas of rotation, and this storm is now getting smaller. It could be meeting its demise finally.
See out here how that base has risen. There's cloud. There's a bit of cloud underneath that. That's stable air. That air is not rising. That storm is done. That was the storm that just had that incredible structure. We're gonna film this one for a bit because this one is interesting. It's not close to tornado, nothing like that, but I would classify it as interesting. Moving just north of Roswell. A little bit of teaching material here. Not really looking at this as a tornado threat at all. I think things have calmed down considerably now in this target. That's cool. It's cool to look at. If nothing else, I mean, there's awesome spiral band around here. It's really cool. So we'll watch it just in case it gets a little bit out of hand again, but feeling pretty good about this day, probably for me being just about over. So I just a gut feeling. I knew it was gonna end early. I didn't know it was gonna end before 5, but I did know it was gonna end early. Only chance you're getting a tornado out of that is if a random land's about to happen. But yeah, you can just feel it's cold here. It feels comfortable in hoodies.
This was another successful chase day for the team this season. Looking ahead, June will be active. There's no rest for the weary storm chaser this year.